Hey everyone, welcome to iDragons again. Here with the day 1 of the reveal season. I'm going to skim over some cards that were revealed today. I'm going to talk about them regarding the wild format, of course. Since wild is very, specific with what can be played and what not, I won't, try to be that verbose about all of them, because we all know most of the cards that get revealed, most of the cards that get made don't actually make it to the format, so there's no point in trying to give them a play, trying to talk about them for the format. So yeah, I will try to make this fast and concise. Will also give all my thoughts about the cards. So to begin with, we have Kazakus, the new Kazakus the Golden Shaper. And honestly, right off the bat, I can say that I'm very glad that Kazakus is not a Highlander card. The new Kazakus is not a Highlander card, because we very clearly need a rest from Highlander cards. The last batch was incredibly powerful and we haven't recovered from it. So yeah, new Kazakus, it's a prince kind of effect. If you remember princes back from Frozen Throne, yeah, the deck building challenge for the prince kind, the prince-esque effect, is that you can't have in your deck cards with the same cost. In this case, 4 cost cards. And right off the bat, I don't know where you play this, because you can't play this with the old Kazakus. They are both 4 mana, so you take out half of the Highlander decks, the Cabal classes. In Hunter, you probably want the rifle, although if the golems are good enough, you might include this in Hunter maybe. It really depends on the power level of the effects you can build onto the golems, because it works like the old Kazakus, but instead of a potion you make a golem, and we don't quite know yet what effects are possible. We know that's possible to get taunt on draw 2 on the greater golem, the 5 mana one. So probably in the 1 mana version is draw 1, and in the superior version draw 3, maybe 4. So yeah, since we don't know much about the card in question, I don't think it's fair to gauge its power level until then. I mean, we know Kazakus is playable, and if this comes at least close to that, it will of course be playable in decks that don't run Kazakus and can afford to lose the 4 mana slot. Or maybe if it's way too good, you replace Kazakus with this. I don't think it will come to that, but you actually never know. I don't really have much to say about this. I wish we got all the effects revealed, but we didn't, so let's move on. Primordial Protector. Okay, this card is very interesting. Right off the bat is a reprint of Spiteful Summoner, and while it was in standard, Spiteful Summoner was actually very powerful. It had to be nerfed for a while, and it was not impactful, but at least Spiteful decks are playable. They are not very good, they are like tier 3 maybe, but they are playable. Because the problem with Spiteful decks is that since you can't play early game spells, if you start falling behind, you usually can't catch up with minions, so your Spiteful turn it's not as impactful if you are playing from behind. Now, does this help the Spiteful archetype? Yes, of course it does. You draw the spell that you're building around, your 10 cost spell, 8 cost spell, and you get a big minion, and this is fairly big itself, 6/6. 8 mana 6/6, and you get 8 cost card. Usually 8 costs are very good. You can get Ragnaros, you can get the Lich King, you can get 8/8 on average and 8/8. That's what you got the 8 mana minions to be, more or less. 10 mana cost is more swingy because there are very awful 10 mana cost, but there's also very good ones like Scrapyard Colossus, like Colossus of the Moon, etc. Tyrantus is also very good. So right off the bat, this goes into that deck, right? Spiteful decks. Like in Spiteful Summoner, you play this and you draw Call of the Wild and you have a follow-up. And it being 8 mana means you can play it Spiteful, and then this. Of course that will be like a dream scenario, but after your Spiteful threat has been dealt with, you have a second layer of threats. You can't print an effect this good for less mana than 8, so I get it. On top of that, it's also a spell tutor, so it's not only playable in Spiteful decks, it's also playable in decks where you want to tutor a spell. Of course in LPG Mage you have the beard, but maybe you can slot things in LPG Mage. Mage has a couple nice 8 mana spells. It doesn't have like a good 10 mana spell sadly, because you don't play Pyroblast in Spiteful decks. Probably. Nah, you don't play that. This could be good in Spiteful Druid because you get your ultimate infestation out, or the survival of the fittest card. In Hunter, obviously Nagran Slam also, and as I said, the Call of the Wild, but are very good to have in your hand. And that probably means you can play Sul'jin in this hypothetical Spiteful Primordial Protector deck, because if you play this, you are guaranteed to have your spells in hand, so you can secure that your Sul'jin will eventually cast them. The downside to this is that you obviously draw the spell, so you can accidentally deactivate your Spiteful. But I don't think that's an issue, because at this mana cost you'd rather just play this quote-unquote tiered and 4 copies of Spiteful Summoner. Well, instant support for Spiteful decks, I guess. I don't think it will be enough to make Spiteful decks meta, but it will be enough to boost the consistency of Spiteful decks. Next we have Canon Master's Might, a card for Secret Paladin. This card is basically the Emerald Spellstone for Hunter. Remember Emerald Spellstone? It's back in minion form. It's a 4/4 now. Now, right off the bat, of course, unlike Emerald Spellstone, you don't have to upgrade this. But unlike Emerald Spellstone, this only works if you still have the secrets up, which in the case of Paladin is a bit hard, because Paladin secrets, because they cost 1, they tend to be very weak and as such are very easy to trigger. For example, the new one, the one that if an enemy deals 3 damage, it destroys the minion. That's very easy to trigger. Get down is very easy to trigger. In order to play this, you will have to play more, I guess, board-centric secrets like auto defense matrix and get away coddle. Avenge, you always play Avenge because that's like the best secret. And well, it's hard to measure how strong this card will be because Paladin secrets are not that good. Of course, if you play Mysterious Challengers on 6 and then play this right after, assuming your opponent didn't interact with your secrets, it will be like an insane tempo swing. But other than that, how many secrets do you have to throw into minions for this to be worth it? Probably 2. That's 6/6 plus 4/4. That's 10/10 stats, and the secrets get transformed back into secrets where the minions take turn to die. So I don't know. It's a weird card, and Secret Paladin is not really a thing right now in WoW. But it could be. I mean, Call to Arms is back in all its 4 mana glory. And you can play Call to Arms, summon 2 scientists, have them die, and then play this right after. That sounds like a deck. I knew Call to Arms was going to be the big playmaker for Paladin going forward. That's probably how Secret Paladin gets played, if any. Maybe, I will try it at least, I will give it a shot. Mordresh Fire Eye, this card, I love the art of this card, by the way. If you have dealt 10 damage with your hero power this game, deal 10 damage to all enemies. I couldn't believe that it felt when I first read it. 10 damage to all enemies. It's a Pyroblast, but it's also a super flame strike on asteroids. It's like insane. No. Right now, in standard, obviously this is very hard to achieve. In WoW, this is an even cost card, so you can scratch out Mage from the list, but even Mage has his way around dealing damage with the hero power. You have the Spirit, which makes you deal 3. You have Koldara Drake, which can cheat a bunch of hero powers. And you have the new card, this one. I think these two should be talked about together. Fry your hero powers are all enemies. So with this, if your enemy is going wide, you can get like 3, 4, maybe 5. I don't think you ever get 7 unless you are against an odd paladin. But if you can get like 4 from this, and then 3 from playing the Spirit, and a couple more from Young Light, I think more often than not you can actually play Mordresh on on tempo, on the mana curve, and have it be active, probably. Now the thing is, how do you get to 10 mana alive in even Mage to be able to play Mordresh? You can't expect your hero power to take you alive to there, but if you can find a way to get to 10 mana alive, I think more often than not by that time you will have Mordresh active. assuming you draw your hero power enchanting card. But the deck runs so many of them. You have Fallen Hero, you will have this guy, you have Ice Walker. That's not a buff to your hero power, but it's very useful to be able to freeze. I think with Reckless Apprentice plus that is a 6 mana combo that freezes your enemy board. Sure, that's not very strong, but it's repeatable. And freezing your enemy board is always nice. So, challenge for this card, the challenge for this deck for even Mage going forward will be how often can you get alive to 10 mana to play this and straight up just win the game from there. Because like, if you play this and it's active, you pretty much win. You deal 1/3 of your opponent's life in damage, you basically clear their board. There's very few boards that are resilient to being dealt 10 damage, and on top of that you have a 10/10. So yeah, I think that will be the challenge for this deck, finding a way to get alive to 10 mana. And I'm not for it. I mean, Holdara Drake got buff. Sure, it's just +1 health, but they knew we will try to make this work, and we will totally try to make this work. I'm not sure if it will be playable in standard ever, but who knows? It's just 2 cards so far. Usually archetypes have like 3, 4, maybe 5 support cards, so as more Mage cards get revealed, we will know if this dream of even Mage or hero power Mage will be alive or not. Next we have Cortrus, Ash Fallen, and this is a standard card. You don't see this in WoW ever. I mean, the problem with Demon Hunter in WoW is that since it is a new class and all the broken cards got nerfed, and there's no way to force synergies because it's a new class. There's no past synergies that are not supposed to interact with each other. Demon Hunter is very weak in WoW. It only has one deck, which is Demon Hunter, so if you are not a card that can be played in Demon Hunter, you're probably not going to be played. Now, aside from that, if there's ever a non-Odd Demon Hunter deck for Shivo plays as being assimilated, thank you for letting me assimilate you into the cult. So, as I was saying, if there's ever a deck in WoW that's not Odd, if there's ever a reason to not play Odd Demon Hunter in WoW, this is probably a card you want to play in that deck. This is the kind of card, the kind of legendary that's super versatile, because this is good tempo, but it's also a good board clear each card. It's the best of both worlds. If you're playing an aggro kind of deck, a more tempo deck, tempo Demon Hunter, if that's ever a thing, you play this, because if you manage to outcast this minion, you will most likely just kill 2 minions for your opponent for free. And if you are playing a slower Demon Hunter deck, you probably also play this because it can clear 2 of your opponent's minions for free. And in that case, probably the outcast matters less, but I think you 100% want to play this card outcasted. Because it's 4 mana, deals 6 to 2 minions, you know, it's not random. That's the thing, it's not a random effect. And if you play this outcast, you of course get a 3/4 on top of that, so it's like a super... What was that card called for Hunter? 4 mana, deal 3, summon a wolf. It's that, but it's a legendary, basically. What deck is this best in? I don't know. Cortrus just doesn't seem like fit for wild as of now. It will have to. It will take some time for this card to find a place in wild actually, because right now the class is only Demon Hunter. It's the only strong deck the class has. I've seen a ton of meme decks for Demon Hunter, but they are just meme decks. I mean, Cortrus is it's weird. It's a weird card. In standard, it's excellent. In standard, it will probably slot into every single Demon Hunter deck right off the bat because it's insane. But in Wild, this effect is this is still a good effect for turn 4, but it doesn't belong in any deck. But if there ever a reason to play non-odd Demon Hunter, I think you will consider playing this card in that deck. Let's see the next card, Razonfair Beastmaster. I think it's not worth talking about this card because right now there's just not any synergy for this card. Demon Hunter doesn't actually have, a dead rattle thing going on. I was actually mad when I saw this card because this feels like a hunter card. It looks like a hunter card. It smells like a hunter card. It isn't a hunter card, it's a demon hunter card. Demon Hunter doesn't have any death rattles. What do you want me to say here? I'm guessing they are going to push a mini archetype for Demon Hunter, or maybe it's a whole ass archetype for Demon Hunter to revolve around death rattles. Maybe. Oh, that's all the cards. That's all the cards. So that's it for today's review. Let's look forward to more reviews tomorrow, and maybe I can do another review tomorrow for the cards. We will see. I hope the card quality keeps up because right now the cards, even though we had like 6 cards only today, 7 cards, the card quality was incredible. So let's hope this set doesn't drop the ball because it's looking very good.